Hello and welcome to my channel. I'm Kita Rose. For those of you that haven't been here before, welcome, and for those of you that are returning, thank you so much. Today we are going to be making kombucha, just the basic recipe to begin with, and we'll go into a little bit of the health benefits and amazing ways that you can use kombucha as well, whether you are a lazy person that has no time or you are someone that loves to make sure you have everything scheduled and deal with everything in a very organized way. Kombucha can be really great for you. A lot of people say, oh, I don't know if I have time to be sorting it out, but I have in this video as well some simple solutions for the lazy girl, let's say, as well. So if you happen to just leave your kombucha for an extra few weeks or a month or however long, you just didn't get to it in that time, or you've been on amazing holidays or whatever, there are amazing ways that you can also use kombucha, and some that I bet you haven't even thought of or seen before, so stay tuned. So today we are making a basic kombucha recipe. So what you will need is 1 SCOBY. For this, you will need a cup of the starter culture tea. So this is what you get your little kombucha SCOBY with. This is just like a kind of vinegary liquid. Don't throw it out when you get this. You are going to always need a little bit of it just to start the next one. And you're going to need 4 cups of filtered water. We will get into the best kind of water in this video as well. So you can use 4 to 6 tea bags. Black tea is best. I tend to start off, if this is your first kombucha ever, I would start with the black tea, and then in your later remakes of the kombucha, you could then transition into using oolong tea or green. Oolong is definitely my favorite, and this is another whole video to make beautiful yun tea, which is the oolong and honey mix for kombucha. But for this one, we're going to do just the plain old basic kombucha. So you've got your 4 to 6 bags of black tea. That is also going, if you're using loose tea, which I highly recommend, then just 2 tablespoons of the loose tea. And then you've got 1 cup of granulated sugar. I know sugar sucks, but we're going to use it because that's what the SCOBY, the kombucha, feeds off. And then it turns that into a fermented delicious drink, or whatever you will make with this. So just use the sugar. And we need then a glass jar or brewing vessel. This is the one that I have here. This is big enough. If you can get those ones that have the little tap on the bottom, amazing. The only problem with them may be the bacteria that can grow on the little rubber part around it. Other than that, that is definitely the easiest way to have kombucha and to be drinking it always. We can get into that in a little bit more detail later. And you'll need a little cloth or paper towel, or even some people just use a tea towel. I like to use my lovely matching cottage kitchen ones. I just cut all of I got a big piece of material from a local market, and then I've just cut them all into the sizes that I need. So the one for the kombucha I make a lot bigger because you don't want your kombucha to see the sun, or rather the kombucha itself just doesn't want to see the sun. It's a little albino vampire and it does not like it at all. Kombucha is actually pretty high maintenance, let's say. It's a bit of a princess. So you do have to be a bit more careful with the kombucha than you do with the milk kefir or kefir. And then you also need a rubber band for fastening that on at the end. So on that note about kombucha being a little princess, that means you really do have to clean everything. So before starting this video, I have given my kitchen a really good clean with my natural disinfectant spray that I made, and I have cleaned already this jar. I gave that a really good clean with some very hot water and strong acidic water as well. And then now I've already let sit half of my, or maybe more than that, about 2/3 of my filtered water I already have sitting in here, just because I don't think that you need to boil all of the water. I'm actually trying to maintain some of the health benefits from the water itself. As you can see in the background, I'm using this amazing Kangen water machine, and this gives me the best water for all of the different things that I prepare, and it just makes everything taste better as well. So you can choose which pH level that you use and then work accordingly with that. So that's not essential for making your kombucha, but highly recommended by myself and many others to use this not only for disinfecting by using the strong acidic water, but then using the quite alkaline water actually for the kombucha process, and also for then mixing other things in at the end. So now I have the water in here. So your filtered water, you can do it this way, where you already put more than half, 2/3 into the jar already, and then you cook the rest with the tea. Or you can brew up the whole amount, but to me, I think that that's kind of unnecessary. And here is the water that I have just brought to a boil, and then now it has 2 tablespoons of black tea sitting in it. Here, I have let this sit for about half an hour now. It's still just a little bit warm, so this is the time where I will put the sugar in. Okay, so for the next part, you're going to need some kind of strainer and just your creation of the tea cooled down with the sugar in it. If it's a tiny bit warm, it doesn't matter really, because you can then just let it cool down in here. So just pour the whole mix in. Okay, so temperature is really important with all fermentation, and it's something to always consider. This actually feels somewhat cool now already, even though it does have the hotter mix in it, but this has been sitting here for a few hours with just cool water as well. And fun fact, of course, the water that comes through the taps here in Switzerland, of course, is quite cold in the winter. So this is now perfect. I wouldn't put the kombucha in if this water were too cold. Same, I wouldn't put it in if it were too warm. So now it's time to get your kombucha SCOBY. So this one has been sitting for longer than I would like to admit, maybe, but it's still fine. As you can see, there's a few here. So we've got the original mama, that's looking pretty old. That's looking like the mama, or maybe we've got the grandma now in there. So that's the first one. And then this is the liquid that goes with it as well. And then you can see here, then there's another stack, like pancake stack, slimy pancakes. So then that would have been the next one when the top of this was disrupted, probably when it was delivered to me by a friend. And then here on the top now, you've got a new layer. So this is the science behind the kombucha. It is always striving to create this protective layer over its liquid. So this is kind of the magic of kombucha, and there's so many ways that you can use this. At the moment, we're talking mostly about collecting this liquid, well, which will be in here, to make a delicious, refreshing beverage. Not only is this something that's really nice to have at any time of the day, but I find it's also an amazing substitution for alcohol whenever I'm in non-drinking phases or doing, you know, one of the months without alcohol, or just not feeling like drinking as much, which is happening quite often now. And I know a lot of others out there are really starting to think that, you know, it's not something that they need to be doing all the time, and trying to be more conscious with when they do choose to have alcohol. So one thing I used to make, which was amazing, was this elderberry ginger kombucha, and it was like this delicious, not like a red wine, but like a wine. It just really hit the spot. Like when I would sit to have a dinner party with anyone else, I would always bring a bottle of this with me. I would drink it and happily share it, of course, but I didn't feel like I was the one sitting there drinking water or juice or like lemon lime bitters when everyone else was having delicious wine. It was like I was also feeling very alive, I was feeling very invigorated always drinking this as well. I think because of the elderberry and its magical properties, plus the ginger, which just gives this nice little kick. So yes, this is the magic of kombucha. You can create so many different things with it. And also the SCOBY on the top, this little guy, there are some really fascinating ways that it's been used in the modern day, and maybe this was also an ancient practice, I'm not sure, but you can also make your own kind of leather substitute with this. I have in Australia actually quite a few purses and little handbags, like clutch bags, that I made myself. I've been using string or rope that I made from the kombucha as well. So that's been going for 3.5, almost 4 years now, and they're still going strong. I just wanted to really test them before I started showing these and sharing this method with anybody else. So do look out for the videos on the kombucha leather, because this is just amazing, and you can change the colors and everything. Very fascinating. But let's get back to the drink. So now for the fun part, let's get this little bad boy out. Another thing about kombucha is that it does not like metal. So I am using a random like takeaway knife. That's, I think, one of the ones that are made with the avocado seeds. But you can use anything, just don't use metal. Yeah. So there's no special equipment that you need for this. As you see, as I do this, pop, then it opens up the surface. This top one is quite thick. We're going to take that top one. That's the youngest one, so that's the best one. So I'm just going to use my hands. I've washed them. I've used my strong acidic water to clean them. I'm just going to rip that little goopy bit off right there, as you can see. And then what you're left with looks like the top two have fused together. We can either split them or put them in together. So this little guy can just go in there. And then we're going to take, so it says about a cup in the recipe of the kombucha starter. This one is super strong, so I'm happy to use maybe like half a cup in this one, and I think that's about all I've got there anyway. All right, so half a cup of my kombucha mix. Let's see if we can do it. Okay, perfect. That's half a cup there. Now for you, you can do a cup, or if it's very strong, you can do the same as me. But what happens then, because of this nature of survival of the kombucha SCOBY, is to cover the whole surface area. We're going to get a whole new one, a whole new pancake kind of style looking thing. Will cover the full surface here, so nothing can get in. It's a really special process, actually. I find kombucha quite fascinating. Sometimes I don't really feel like making it, so I just do like what I have done with this one, and I just let it sit in the cupboard for a while. But spring is coming here very soon, and definitely having through the spring and summer a really refreshing, amazing beverage that you can add so many different flavors to and do so many different things with. To have that on tap in your house over the spring and summer is just amazing. So I'm quite seasonal with my kombucha, though you can do it all year round. You just have to find out what works best for you. So then now that that's done, we're gonna say goodnight to our little butchie boo. Cover him or her. I'm not sure, maybe say it's a her because it's the mama. So cover her with your cloth. Try to make sure it's something that does cover most of it, because we really want to just set that up in the dark pretty much. Rubber band on top. Now another thing to be aware of is if you have other ferments or other bacteria flying around in your kitchen. I would say usually it's great to have on the bench top. This area here is where I keep my milk kefir. I haven't really mixed them that much together. Usually I do put the kombucha over in another area, but for now I'm actually just going to let them all go here, because I don't know if you can tell, but I have a million different things going on in this kitchen right now. So really basically just keep in mind that it can get contaminated from other substances. So try to always just put it into a nice, safe, darkish place. But for me right now, that's the perfect spot. You will find your way with yours. And then if you have any left over, just you can cover it back up. That's going to be used for the next video. And depending on where you are and what the climate is like, is how long you will leave your kombucha. So for me right now, we have heating indoors, but as the spring's coming, the heating's going, and it's still quite cold outside actually. So this is probably going to take 3 weeks, but I will keep checking it. And then for others, if it's in summer, then probably it will be ready in like 2 weeks. Depending on where you are and how fast it's going with the heat, but definitely the temperature plays a big part in it. So I think summertime you're going to have your kombucha in like a week to 2 weeks, and then in the winter time it could be 3 weeks to 1 month. So let your little baby rest, and then you can harvest it when it's ready. Now the flavor should be like a little bit acidic and vinegary. It shouldn't be sweet. You shouldn't be able to taste the sugar so much, but everything else, then you should just be able to taste like a nice beverage. If it's too vinegary, then it's gone too far, and you can use that for cleaning. And that's for another video too. So I hope that you feel confident now to make your own kombucha, and you're excited to do so. It is an amazing beverage to have, maybe not to be drinking every single day. You know, you can do your own research with it, talk to your own healthcare professionals and nutritionists about adding the kombucha into your daily life. I do think that it's much better than most of the other soft drinks and alcoholic beverages that are out there for you, if you think about it, because most of them have insane amounts of sugar in them. They have been sitting in plastic for a very long time. They are made with God knows what, nothing natural in them, and they're not probiotic. So at least you have here a product that you can make yourself, you can get really creative with. It does give you some really good beneficial bacteria for your gut, and it's super cute and fun. And you can also then, because you'll end up with a lot of these extra scobies, you can share them with your friends, or you can get creative in using this in other ways. So other ways that you can use the kombucha, you've got vinegar. So that's what I was saying before about it. When it gets too strong, then you can use this for a vinegar. Obviously you want to wait until it's super strong then for this vinegar. That's something you can use for cleaning. You can use this also for salad dressings. I use the kombucha vinegar for in the chili sauce recipe, my favorite chili jam as well. And what else can you use the vinegar for? Vinegar. yeah, so it's just a complete substitute for that. Making your own vinegar, amazing. Also, the leather, fantastic. And plus the no, that's it actually. So just vinegar and leather and your drink. If you know of anything else, please do let me know. I would be very interested to know. Obviously, I'm searching for the third thing that we can use it for, the fourth thing, sorry. Yeah, have an amazing day and have fun making kombucha. Please, if you have any questions, you can always reach out to me via email or comments here, or also on Instagram, keto.rose. So please don't hesitate ever to ask me any questions. I love them. I could talk about this for days, as you can see. So yes, looking forward to hearing from you and hearing about your kombucha success. Bye.